the single most important part of the defensive game plan process that we used. I'm going to walk through that today. I'm going to look at two different things. The first you can see here is our offensive analysis, formation analysis. The information that we used to put that together was our film breakdown data that I talked about in the blog yesterday. And you can see on this that there are 5 top run plays based on frequency are here. This is the number of times they run it, and then any tendencies that we have associated with it. So their top run plays are ISO. They ran 28 times, and you can see it's fairly balanced, strong, weak, wide, short. And then the same for their different types of passing actions. Drop back 40 times, primarily strong and primarily wide. You can also see the formations, their top formations. For instance, a pro set with a single tight end and a flanker, they ran 53 times and ran the ball 89% out of it. Done this for all the formations and the plays that they run out of this formations. We're going to use this as we put together our ready list. And here's how we do that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw up their top 5 run plays. Here we've got ISO, trap, power, draw, toss. Those are the plays that we've already determined through the computer breakdown that that's their top plays. We know that the ISO is a fairly balanced play form. They run it both strong and weak. But you can see here that out of the 28 ISOs, 20 of them came in the pro formation, and 3 more came in a tight twins formation. So 23 out of the 28 came with a single tight end. So when we're looking at defensing the ISO and talking about this procedure as far as putting together our ready list, we're going to draw up the ISO out of a single tight end, and we're going to draw up each of our fronts against it. And we're going to discuss and argue and talk as a staff which of our defensive fronts puts our personnel in the best position to defend the ISO, the way that they run it, the blocking schemes that they used, out of the formations they run it out of, in the direction that they run it. So we're going to go through each play and diagram with our fronts to try to determine through discussion and storming, norming, and forming what plays, what defensive fronts are going to be the best against their top run plays. After we do that, as this process, and this is an actual game plan from a number of years ago, we determined that for the ISO, these were our 3 top defensive fronts that we wanted to be in. It put our personnel based on our strengths and weaknesses in the best position against the play using the blocking schemes that they use, again in the formations and tendencies that we know. So the first step is getting our top 3, and on these 2 plays we only put 2 because a little bit less frequent plays. Normally we put our top 3 defensive fronts against their top 5 plays. The next step in the process is we'll go back and again we'll draw up every play that they run against. The first thing we do would be against our 31 short, and we would try to determine out of 31 short what are our top first level stunts against that play. How are we going to move our personnel to best defend against their top play ISO. We'll do that for each one of our fronts against the ISO, adding the second level stunts, and each play. So we'll go through that every play, every front, diagramming what we determined to be our top level, our best first level stunts. First level stunt for us is a defensive line or defensive end stunt. After we do that, we'll go back and we'll do the same thing with our second level stunts. We'll diagram their play in this front and look at what second level stunts would be the best against the play. Again, keeping in mind what formations they like to run it out of and what tendencies that we have. So after we've completed that, we've got pretty much our full ready list with our top 3 fronts, all our first level stunts that we think are going to be good against it, and all our second level stunts that we think we can have success against their top plays. This gives us a good base tool to use when we start putting together our call sheet.